After a very stunning, very stunning last chapter, we are going to continue. So let's just keep it going.
Sister, I should explain. All that fuss today...
Is it safe for you to come to such a public place?
What? No, it's fine. It's not like we caused a riot or anything.
That's not what I meant. You're the songstress, remember?
Ah, yes. Suppose you're right.
I know we talked before about the loophole in the King's protective magic, but I never thought you would be the one to strike Louise down. And that lance you presented, I take it that's why you went to Virga Island.
We didn't mean for it to be such a spectacle. It didn't exactly go but at least we kept a tyrant off the throne.
And that's why I was wondering if I could ask you something. About Sanctifex Forden. What kind of man he really is.
Because, well, now that Luis is out of the picture, we know who's got the best chance. A man as powerful as him, well, you know how it is. You hear all kinds of nasty rumors swirling about. I'm just wondering if there's any...
Tuna, are you seriously trying to dig up dirt on Sanctifex Forden? On Saint's Day of all days?
Oh, loosen up a bit. You can't deny that people talk, and God knows they always have. Especially about the night of the attack. Asking how anyone could sneak into the castle, let alone get to the prince. Whether some official ordered the assassination. Remember when those rumors started? Father was on edge for days. I remember even when I hadn't said anything, he'd scold me and send me away. I don't suppose you ever heard if there was any truth to that. Sorry. I don't mean to dance around it so... It's just not an easy thing to ask about. I was talking with one of our allies, Hulkenberg. She said Forden mentioned something he couldn't have known. Unlikely as it is, if it turns out Forden was involved, she won't suffer him being crowned. She'll be out for vengeance. And you're the eldest daughter of House Cygnus, a Sanctist family. The people would see you as an accomplice to a man who had a hand in killing the royals. I couldn't bear to let that happen. You don't deserve that. I need to know the truth.
Then, suppose His Eminence Forden were guilty of such sin. What would you do with him? With the Sanctist Church?
What do you mean?
Well, I was but a girl of only 12 years. I knew nothing about the inner workings of the Crown Theocracy.
Sister?
Nothing. I'm fine. If a tad overworked. All these new developments and tragic events, I'm just run a little ragged.
Sister!
I'll be fine. Really. I'm sorry you had to see me like that. If I am to be the people's saint, I must be strong enough to play the part. Maybe I'll hold off on the harder drinks today, just to be safe. It's been a long time since we could spend some simple time together like this. It's like we're just two sisters visiting Montario for the holiday. I'll see you again soon.
About that. Let's rest.
That's Louise.
Good night.
Time marches on, and the age of a new king draws nearer.
Let's get this year's Saints' Day Festival of Montario underway. We will begin with a few words from His Eminence, Sanctifex Forden.
Looks like Dracodios hasn't left his side.
Today is a day of great celebration. A day to offer up our thanks to God. But first, an announcement. Luis is dead. The royal family's murderer has been put to justice. Now much of the kingdom's trust lies with me. Even this king-defying lance is safe in my hands. I would not see further bloodshed in endless, futile conflict. Is it not past time for reconciliation and open dialogue as a newly forged nation?
He's talking as if the race is already over. What about deciding the winner?
All but a formality now, isn't it? His Eminence has the overwhelming majority on his side. Better to establish peace now and crown Sanctifex Forden.
No. He would end the tournament here and now.
So he's just going to call the race while he's ahead? How convenient. But the throne's decided by the king, not this tournament.
Forden only had to abide by that when he had Luis to compete with. If he ends this while he's this far ahead, we won't be able to reverse it.
Oi! The game's not over yet, you cocky bastard!
We only seek to submit to the will of the people. Though you would be wise to quit the race with all speed.
Forden for the throne! Then we will finally have peace! Hail His Majesty Forden! Long live His Majesty Forden!
Damn him. The people already believe him the victor. Tournament won or no, his dominance will soon be unshakable.
Let's go. We reclaim the lance, now!
Now? Are you out of your mind?
If he's going to keep it close to hand, we'll never have a chance to swap it out. We'll have to take it by force.
We have no choice.
If there really is no other way.
So you were after this lance all along? Loyalists indeed. How many more candidates must die by your hand?
His magler is horrific, distorted. It's sickening.
What did you? How dare you, you pagan wretch! You would steal this holy lance for your own vile ends. That alone is treason against the kingdom, you filthy assassins.
Assassins? Then we're in good company. That night, you were the one behind the attack on His Royal Highness. You framed Luis for your crime and banished him from the palace. Do you deny it?
Precisely the sort of baseless claims I'd expect from desperate sinners.
Baseless, is it? In that case, shall we produce proof of your treason?
You waste your breath. What do your words matter now? The royal family is gone. Luis is dead. Only I remain. And only I am fit for the throne.
You vile traitor!
You call His Eminence a traitor? Preposterous! The Sanctifex is incapable of such deeds!
Your Majesty Forden, punishment to the disloyal. Judge these ruffians with your divine lance!
Behold, the flock has spoken. Those who defy me are to be executed. Before you die, know that I am in your debt for killing Luis and handing me the crown.
What the hell's going on? I thought the prince's curse was supposed to be off.
It's clearly not. The prince's assassination, the whole lot. It was all the Sanctists. It was all that bastard pulling the strings from the start. Wait, is that?
You! Identify yourself! Who are you?
We're at a festival. Should we not be festive? I've come to meet you, Forden.
Reese. Impossible. How could you have survived? Not that it matters. It falls to me to finish the job, then. Coming here sealed your fate. Hell awaits, and this time I'll make sure you stay there. Face your divine punishment, Louise! But why?
It appears your sins outweigh mine.
What have you done?
That lance is counterfeit, just like you.
What in
This
the
is
hell, dude?
You snake, Louise.
Did he just kill Sanctifex Forden?
No. Impossible.
Nothing to see here! The festival is cancelled! Cancelled!
Lord Luis is alive.
What's going on?
Good people! You have heard the truth with your own ears. Forden was the vile mastermind behind the prince's assassination. For casting his sins upon me, for seeking to usurp the throne, I have passed due judgment. A tainted Sanctifex is unfit to rule. What's the matter? You seem lost for words.
You're supposed to be dead.
In a sense, yeah.
Then how? How are you alive? Forden's own
Forden's attendant?
No! Zorba?
Back at the Grand Cathedral, I ordered the dead to recover my body if the need arose.
I had always intended for Forden to die by my hand. And the first step in his downfall was Zorba's infiltration.
Impossible. The lance pierced you through your very breastplate.
It did indeed. And frankly, I'm still impressed. Few could land such a decisive blow against me. But I'm afraid fate was on my side, not yours.
Mortal anatomy is my speciality. I knew at first glance that the wound was deep, but the heart was intact. Lord Luis is destined for far greater than this, so I devised a plan. I would proclaim his death and deceive both Forden and his flock. After that, it was simply a matter of magically regenerating his flesh.
Oh my god, they brought this dude back. This is bullshit, dude.
Expecting to die in such a place.
I could have emerged as soon as I'd healed.
Well, they had to pull something out for the ultimate twist of the story.
Of celebration. The least I could do is
Definitely, didn't you? Because they make you forget about Zorba the whole time, and he's such an early game boss that you're like, okay, that was that. This motherfucker came back and did. Oh my god.
It was hardly a difficult task to swap out your counterfeit.
So you knew the truth of it? No. Have you always been ahead of us? Ever since the moment we thought Zorba dead?
A holy lance, a convincing prop. What does it matter? Had I truly died, it would simply indicate that I was never fit for my ambitions. Power is the only true arbiter. Behold the proof. Forden lies dead, and the lance is in my hand.
You let us do as we pleased, even knowing the risks. You're insane!
Indulge me a question. You stole the magic formula from me. Surely you soon learned that it was useless. That's why you then resorted to killing the caster. You were desperate to lift the spell. Is that not so? In other words, the curse's victim still draws breath. For that reason, you sought to kill me even amidst this competition, even with the difficulty of the king's magic in your way. So, His Venerable Highness the Prince survived. Where is he? Speak or die.
Please, spare us!
No! Stop! Leave them be!
How quickly the Sanctus break rank and flee. Their flock left to die. This is Sanctism.
No! Stop him!
Don't!
Out of the way!
No.
What?
Why?
Go! Run!
Come down.
Thank you. You protect them. Yet what value do they have to you?
It's not that! It's strong! It's strong, my lords!
I see. So even you two faltered.
Dal! Dal!
Fedelio!
Hey! Wake up!
0 out of 10 for the backpack not being blown out.
I get it now. Only fair thing in this world is power.
I was so wrong about this dude, man.
Or so I thought. But you know, if all the week and
I'm gonna regret those videos where I was like, I can't wait to beat his ass.
I've been an idiot. Sorry about that.
Stop talking, Tal.
I see it, you know. Our little diner. Music in the air. It's grand. Look after Lady Juna.
Huh? Hey. Tal?
Dal!
Pitiful. See what Brotherhood earned them.
Lord Louis, that's what it all comes down to for you, yeah? The strong are right, the weak are wrong.
It's time for bed, Woody.
No matter what you were born
You guys gotta get going.
fairness
Fix my table,
enough.
please.
We saw you as our hope. We thought that if you had a proper strong fella on top, he'd be able to put a stop to all the meaningless discrimination. But we had it wrong. You're no ray of hope. It doesn't matter to you. Killing anyone, it doesn't make you feel unclean. You're the kind of cold-blooded bastards we hate more than anything!
Do not concern yourself with this peon, Lord Luis.
You got your
With
charger?
my newfound power, I shall tear them limb from limb.
This way! Guards, hurry!
Step aside. You have important work to do.
Hey! Seize the criminals who murdered His Eminence!
We didn't do it, but we should probably still run. Basilio!
Shut up! What about Tell? You saw what that bastard did to him!
I will not let you die in vain. Your brother didn't do this so you could get yourself killed. For now, please flee with us.
Shit!
Come, make...
Oh, welcome back. It went about as well as could be expected. We wanted something nicer for his grave, but they told us something like that's reserved for Sanctus tradition.
You can expect little else in Altabri. I apologize for not being present.
We've just gotten ourselves out of the public eye. If we had gone as a group, worst case, we'd have been turned in.
I wish we could have mourned him at his home. It had to happen in the lap of the Sanctus Church of all places. I hear the Parapists typically prefer a more joyful send-off, with singing and celebration.
It's alright. Us soldier kids could never afford to be too picky. Telling you he couldn't choose where to snuff it. The fact that you were there, Lady Juna, that's enough for us.
Basilio.
Best to leave him be for a while. He's just lost the only family he had.
By the way, have you checked the Farsight mirror? The curse might be...
Unfortunately, it still hasn't lifted. Guess that means it was someone other than Forden after all.
But Forden brazenly admitted that he had been the mastermind. Luis was innocent of that crime, at least.
Someone must have cast it at Forden's command. Unless we can find and kill them in time. Damn it all!
We've more pressing problems at hand, don't we? Now Luis knows the prince is alive. Surely that's far from ideal.
The village is deep in the forest. It's not an easy place to find, even if you're looking. Going to the prince's side could be dangerous. So let's not get ahead of ourselves.
But even if we sought the real culprit, we no longer have any leads to follow.
If I might make a suggestion, perhaps we should visit my sister again. But that's tomorrow's concern. As for tonight...
Oh, look at you, kid. You look near dead yourself.
Tell? What?
Seems you made it out in one piece, though.
Are you alive? But back there, you... Don't tell me you pulled some bloody trick. Just like Luis. Bloody hell, Tell.
Basilio, sorry. From here on, you're taking the lead.
But why? I can't without you. Tell, I only made it this far because I followed you.
Don't give me that. You're the strong one. Me, I never knew where I was going. Basilio, protect the weak. Swear you'll do it, not for me, but for yourself. If you can do that, I'll always be with you.
Tell...
Don't give me that look. Well, this one's goodbye for now. You ready? Let's hear it, Basilio. You fight. But why?
O Lodestar, ye grief-racked brother, O thou anguished traveler. Thy long stagnant stance hath finally been broken. Now choose thy path.
Not really a choice. It's back to the starting line. This time I'll beat. Ardell entrusted me with this chance. I've got to show him I've got this.
Thank you.
Is he gonna be the barbarian?
A noble parting. O Lodestar, whose light reveals the king's own path. Henceforth, thy fears and insecurities are thy light. Awaken.
It's really fucking cool that we have every single race, like, inside of our one little group here. Shame that they couldn't get us, like, the Angel Wing people as, like, an actual fighter, but...
See you around, Del.
They used them as, like, our ship and stuff like that. Kind of captain, you know? I don't know what to call that. Barbarian, Viking, like, what are we doing here? Marauder. So many names you can go with an axe wielder.
You're finally awake. You were passed out. Don't scare me like that. Not that I can blame you. After all that's happened.
Sir Basilio, there's magna flowing through him. I think it's the same as our power.
It's you lot, from before.
They want to pay their respects for Fedelio.
Thank you. Thank you so very much.
Ardell. Funny, innit? Maybe this world's not so bad. Thanks.
The badass bruiser, bro. Look at that, dude. Let's fucking go, man.
God, what in the world is that, lads? It struck down Sanctifex Forden right before our eyes. That's supposed to be impossible.
And Luis made sure it was a bloody spectacle, before an audience even. The bastard is making sport of it.
We must devise a plan. Otherwise, even if Luis does not
What in the fuck are those
we may
things?
lose faith in the church.
Before all else, we must choose a successor, but they need not share Forden's strength.
I have brought her here.
You requested an audience? Assembled lords?
Rella, we must ask your support. Let me be direct. We would like you to enter the tournament as a formal successor to His Eminence Sanctifex Forden.
This girl? Have you gone mad? I reject this proposal. If anyone is to succeed His Eminence, it should be me, as his trusted right hand.
She sense. Strength alone means nothing. And without that, you have nothing worthy of the people's loyalty.
Rella, will you not speak? Surely you feel what they ask of you is beyond your station.
Well, that...
You are wise beyond your years, Rella. Surely you understand. What the lost children need now is not a righteous avenger, but a refuge from their fears. The people would flock to a saint who dwells among her people. Already many would rejoice to see you rule as queen. Rella, will you answer their call?
He is a true politician.
This is all rather sudden.
Of course, you would have our full support. Naturally, we will make arrangements so that the tournament's next round turns in your favor.
Even so, I am unfit to be queen.
Allow me to clarify. This is not exactly a request. Would you rather have that tyrant Luis become king?
Well...
Hey, sounds like we've got big news. I figured they'd shove someone up to take Forden's place, but where it is, it'll be Saint Rella. Gonna be an announcement tomorrow.
The mourning for Forden's barely started, and they're already lining up his successor. And Rella at that. Going for popularity over power, it seems.
They're getting careless. Though, thinking about it, maybe it's a smarter choice than it seems.
But, say Saint Rella wins against Luis, becomes proper queen and all, gets to do what she wants. Doesn't that tidy this whole thing right up?
No, this can't be her own decision. Just the idea of being queen would put her stomach in knot.
The politicians must be trying to make her their puppet. Perhaps it was an order she could not refuse.
This isn't good. Probably not the best time to talk to her either.
But that's got to mean they're keeping the tournament going, right? Then they'll probably announce the next challenge once Rella's candidacy goes public.
Either way, I don't like it. This is all escalating too fast for my tastes. All the support Forden had campaigned for will likely just go straight to Rella with hardly a dent. If Luis and the Sanctus Church are trying to reclaim the status quo as the two pillars of government, after all, just lifting the curse isn't going to be enough to restore the prince to the throne.
Indeed. Luis versus Rella. Front-runner and runner-up, with no ties to the royal family between them. Everyone will see plain that popularity's eclipsed royal right. His Highness himself will have to win this battle on the faith of the people, or his claim to the crown will never be acknowledged.
Besides which, Luis now knows that His Highness lives. His whereabouts have not been discovered, but the Kingslayer will take up the hunt.
So many obstacles. What do we do?
Well, I know one way to keep a VIP protected. A classic tactic, really. The military does it all the time. We use a body double. You're supposed to be a dead ringer for the prince, yeah?
You mean he pretends to be the prince? That's absurd. You realize it's a capital offense to impersonate royalty.
I don't think it's a bad idea.
Do you not get how dangerous this is?
Ardell was right about you being mental. I think we could pull it off, though. The prince has been gone ages. Nobody's in a position to point out differences.
Wait, just think about this. He's elder. The royal family's Clamar and have been for generations. His appearance would be the least of our worries.
If I may, His Highness the Prince lacks the Clamar horns. Some rumors suggested 'twas not some miraculous feature of the prince alone, but a mark of Elden blood. I've heard no confirmation either way myself, but at the very least, 'tis a tale any aristocrat is bound to have heard in passing.
In other words, with an elder claiming the prince's name and a known royal knight to vouchsafe him, we'd have enough plausibility to shake the nobles to their core.
Of course, all this means little, unless our double himself is willing. What say you?
I can't back down now.
Wow. You never do, you know.
Your resolve has been challenged many times over, and never have you strayed. I am humbled once more. I pledge my soul to this gambit.
Good. Then we declare ourselves tomorrow. where this announcement's going to take place. Seems like the optimal place to make sure we're heard.
Right then. Looks like I'll have to give the old girl a polish worthy of a prince. My cue as well. From here on, it's nose to the grindstone until my magnum opus is finished. Can't let the lad be the only one with his life on the line.
Can we talk?
Whew, all right, what a moment to just kind of let's just breathe, right? This game is incredible. It is long. It's very long. And I need to burst through it just so I can get to Monster Hunter, but that's beside everything else right now. Oh man, I don't even know where to begin, to be honest, but what this game had to do was to be different, right? We couldn't have a predictable ending, in a sense. Like, the ending is going to be exactly as we probably thought it was going to be from the beginning of the game, where Luis is still the big bad, and we're 1000% sure that he is going to be the final boss, right? Probably turn into something crazy, a god, whatever, a human, or whatever the fuck's going to happen here. I don't know. Luis's next grand scheme is probably going to involve taking over the humans and just sending them across all of the land, and we're gonna have to fight back against that kind of stuff, because that seems to be where the end game in my head, where I think the end game would benefit the most, and it would be like some real trying shit to happen. But anyway, without predicting how it's gonna go, the focus is now and what happened in these last few episodes. So the plan went to shit. We knew it was gonna go really bad because it was already known. Luis, though, still took the damage. Luis was injured, and then we actually killed him. But then he was brought back to life because of a henchman that he had from the very start of the game. And that right there is where this game is going to be very different from a lot of other JRPGs in most recent memory, because a lot of them are kind of straightforward. You can start predicting the ending, and like, they're not very shy about who their main villain is or anything like that throughout the entire game. I mean, if we just, like, I'm a huge Final Fantasy fan, so there's like a couple of Final Fantasy games where they set you up in a sense where you're like, okay, this is the main baddie, and then it's not in the end, right? So like, I'm gonna go with 8 because 8 is my personal favorite. You're led to believe that Sorceress Adia is the main bad the entire game, right? Through at least like 3 disc worth almost, or 2 disc, I should say. And then all of a sudden, in the back half of the game, in the next 2 discs, you're learning that there is another sorceress by the name of Ultimecia that wants to take over time compression and stuff like that. So now your objective changed from like, stop this evil sorceress, try to assassinate her, and then now you really got to go like in the future and deal with this other person, because they're going to ruin your future basically. And that's essentially what just happened here. We have like the tale of 2 things, but the villain remains the same. Luis is still the villain, but the biggest problem is that nobody can figure out who cursed the prince. And I don't know if it's us, the Elda character, right? I don't know if it's him. We don't know if it's anyone in our group. If it's because we have not seen anything that kind of points to where this dude's at or who exactly could have done this, right? We're learning that Forden was the one that was basically behind the whole operation, pretty much made the plan and then just paid a bunch of people to go carry out the deed. Tried to pin it on Luis, and Luis was like, fuck that, I'm gonna clear my name. And we were on this hell-bent thing for like more than half of the game just to like go after and murder this guy. And we finally accomplished that just to realize that it's not who we thought it was. So now we've really turned the page, right? We're like, I feel like we're so deep in this game that the next few places could have been it. But now it's like, honestly, I don't even know if we're even at the halfway point. I mean, it doesn't feel like that, but we're gaining a new partner too, right?
What now?
Our list is full, so that's it. We are not getting anybody else from here. The Berserker. I should have said that one too. Shit. Yeah, this is absolutely off the rails, like just low status right now. And a lot of this we have to... Oh, not yet, that's it. So like now every single tree is covered. We just have to find out how to get the final cleric, the final fighter. This will be like martial artist or something, I guarantee it. Oh my god, this game. It is so big. It's legitimately just gigantic. And all of that stuff happened in the span of like 2 days. So now we're just sitting here just still with like, I don't know. It's hard to say. It really is, because if the game doesn't extend past the 10 months, then we do know for sure that the 30th will be the final day in the entire game itself. So I don't know what's about to happen, but we're obviously going to find out on another time when I come back and rerun it all and see what's going on. But yeah, like I said, going back to the whole Zorba thing, I mean, this dude, he was a really early game boss, completely just like, you're done with him, right? You're not like, oh, he's never going to come back, whatever. You don't even think about the stuff. And then all of a sudden they're like, flip the switch, like, here is our big story moment. Boom. Zorba lives. He has a freaking eyeball on his head now. And he brought Count Luis back from the dead. And now Luis knows everything about us. And he also found out that the prince is still alive. And he's very, very upset with that. So in order for him to not have his legitimacy, be questioned for the throne, he's going to go mad and try to kill the guy. He's going to find him and finish off what probably should have been finished off in their eyes. So now we have another problem to deal with. We got Rella, who's going to replace Forden. And things are going to get real messy. Like now the story has gone completely off the rails. Everything that we predicted is officially off, the chart now. Just because everyone is feeling good. We killed Luis. It felt too easy, but at the same time, it felt like that was what was supposed to happen. And Forden was going to be the next big bad that we had to go after. And then that was like completely ended within like a whole 20-minute span. So yeah, like I said, Metaphor Refantazio, I understand why this game is probably going to be up for Game of the Year. The story is incredible. The only real thing I got about it is just the repeat like dungeons and the repeat side quests things. It's common. It's common that these sort of things happen in JRPGs. Giant worlds like this. Usually, you don't want to do that too much, because then all you're doing is just padding your hours. But I mean, they have to do it because there's really nothing else to this game other than just witnessing the story unfold, basically. And that's just kind of where we're sitting at right now. I was just waiting for the story to kind of like come to its closure, but they keep throwing these new wrenches in the system, and it ain't gonna end. This not ending at all.
Done?
I am very, very, very upset at myself for the character and the growth of Del, right? In the beginning, I really did not like him because I just felt like he was bratty and he was just making a mess of like of our operation, you know, as he should. I mean, he's a henchman to Luis, so it was always going to be a hard thing to kind of pull off, right? His snippy, snarky comments were kind of, you know, like in a childish sense, and even though he's supposed to be the older brother of the two, I don't know. I really just didn't look at him like, oh man, this dude, I just can't wait to you know, knock him around a bit. But then we had that whole sequence from riding the Gauntlet Runner in the sea, fighting the human octopus, going to Virga Island, and then just getting a complete change of heart in him, you know what I mean? And that right there is S-tier character storytelling. You know what I mean? And character development, just everything. I mean, this guy was like so bound to Luis, then all of a sudden he's not. And in his final moments, you know, he put himself in harm's way to save his brother and a bunch of people that were just random, you know what I mean? Just kind of sitting there, whatever. So it's just insane how they made a character that's like, oh, this guy right here, you know, like what a punk. And then all of a sudden he's like one of the GO characters of the entire game. As far as Basilio is concerned, I love this dude. He's the voice acting on this guy is great, right? The little accent that they got going on with that. The brothers are going to be missed together for sure. I'm going to miss having Del around because it's I think their banter was fine, right? It was really good. It was something that you needed for, you know, a long trip on a deserted island and stuff like that. So it was just rough times though, you know. So we saw it through though, and Basilio is now part of the group. We pretty much have every single race I think the game offers. We got, of course, our Elda. Stroll is, let's see, they usually tell you on these things. So we got our Fairy. We got our Clemar, our Resant, our Yudif, our Nidias, our Masari, our Ishikia and Roag. I really, really thought Katarina was going to be our Parapus for the game, but that obviously is not going to happen. Nidia, Sant, Roag, and a Kamar. I would have to guess, like, towards the end game, they're going to give us, like, this giant, like, probably more than a month-long window to get everything kind of situated. So you're just going to spend all your time kind of just bumping your royal virtues all up to 5, and then, you know, everyone's going to have all of their follower bonds are going to open up. You're going to do all that, do the hunts, you know, make legendary hunts, whatever they're going to be called. Fight the monster arena and stuff like that, and then like on the final couple days, you know, finish out the game and stuff like that. So, whew, yeah, we have we have a lot of world to kind of go over too. They don't really let me look at it like that, but we just came over here to Altaberry Heights, and I mean, we still have all of the snowy region to go through, and then not even that, but along with this entire gold metal field that we've been seeing since pretty much the beginning of the game. And if they're like any other JRPG, I am sure that there will be like one big final mission in each area and location that we visited before. Probably like a hunt or two or something like that to kind of like cap off that area specifically. More or less, it's probably just like end game challenge type things. But you know, since we're playing on Storyteller, to me it doesn't matter because I ain't gonna struggle. We're never gonna lose or anything like that, which is fantastic. I'm glad that they made that a thing, seeing that we're trying to kind of blitz through it and move on from, you know, to the next ones, because I can't be stuck on a game for like 3 months with the way that I work, and you know, I have everything else that I got going on in my life too. It's just, hey, it's fun, but I got to move on, you know. But anyway, I think that's a good recap. I don't want to go too much more into depth with it because it's already going to be kind of big on that one. But we're going to come back and see where this story is really taking us. Luis is back on the map for being big mega villain. And right now I am super impressed with that entire sequence. I think right now, Martira, Verga Island, and everything that literally just happened in Elsbury are probably my favorite sections of the game by far, like bar none. The stuff in the beginning with Grius and all that, that was just like a good setup. Going through the cave, heading over to Grand Trad, getting the feel for how the city works and everything like that. But everything, obviously, early game is very easy. Now they're really, really pinning home, like, here's your group, here's your stuff. Start optimizing, start getting your elites going, train those archetypes, use your items, really start developing a plan for every dungeon, you know, start listening to your informants. This game, the tactician in you needs to be made now if you're playing at a normal or hard difficulty, because things are going to get much harder from here. Like, I'm sure, like, there would have been a lot of stopgaps at this point, like, after Luis. Luis probably would have been a major problem until I figured out his weakness. But I'm sure anything after this point, there's going to be a lot of stopgaps as far as, like, how difficult a lot of these extra dungeons and stuff like that are going to be, because we already kind of hit, like, a little bit of a stopper back in Verga Island. You know, I actually got a game over, but then got to revive because how Storyteller works, from a bird of all things. So, yeah. But say so far so good. Like I said, I love this game. It's really good. It's something that really, really deserves a lot of attention in the JRPG universe. Hard for me to speak on it as far as when it comes to Persona games, but you know, this one's unique in its own way, even though it shares a lot of the Persona stuff, obviously, because it's made by them. So yeah, just credit all around. I mean, the voice acting is superior. I really love it. I mean, Jaime, Basilio, like pretty much all these characters, every single one of them have like their thing. I've been neglecting Stroll a lot because I think Stroll was like a very great early game kind of guy, but now that we capped his story off and everything, he's just kind of falling behind. You know, I don't really want to do a lot with him because I'm more interested in the stories with Juna and Yufa, and you know, Jaime's now kind of complete too. You know, he's got the necklace from his son. Now we got Basilio on the crew, you know, so like these three new characters I'm like really engaged with. And Hulkenberg just kind of just throws herself in the mix. So it's just like, you can't avoid her. She's just there. But anyway, thanks for watching. And when we come back, it's going to be set up for the mid game. I don't know, end game. We'll see. We'll see what's about to happen. Thanks for watching.